Welcome to Future Bank Today, a community dedicated to driving innovation in our financial institutions. This is your host, Jim Kittredge, and today's episode is on what is the future of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is now 7 years old, and after years of hype, it is thoroughly in the trough of disillusionment. How do I know we're in the trough? Let's look at some recent headlines. First, there was the whole Mt. Gox debacle. That resulted in $350 million worth of Bitcoin being stolen from individual accounts held in Mt. Gox. The money was being stored in Mt. Gox's apparently insecure online wallet. To date, about 50% of that money has been recovered. Next was the whole Silk Road situation. Silk Road was an underground online bazaar used mostly for buying and selling illegal drugs and was seized by the federal government. In the process, the government confiscated 144,000 bitcoins worth at the time a little over $100 million. Then, in 2015, hackers across the internet had begun to launch attacks called ransomware, using a software such as CryptoLocker that locks a user's PC or phone and demands payment for a passkey in order to open it. And yet in almost all the cases for ransomware, payments need to be made in, you guessed it, bitcoins. Those are some challenging headlines. Looking only at the surface, one can conclude that the primary use of bitcoins is for illegal activities. And after the Mt. Gox heist, no one in their right mind would use Bitcoin. This is exactly what the trough of disillusionment looks like. Of course, the reality is Bitcoin's doing quite well today. There are over 250,000 transactions using Bitcoin each and every day. And yet only a small fraction are used for illegal activities. In fact, I would venture to guess it is around the same percentage used for illegal activities as the $100 bill. And yet we don't hear anyone wanting to ban that anytime soon. In the last several years, Bitcoin has faced a bevy of competitors in the virtual currency space. Here are the top 5. There was Litecoin, there was Darkcoin, there was Peercoin, there was Dogecoin, and then finally there was Primecoin. In fact, there are over 120 additional virtual currencies released into the marketplace. Yet Bitcoin's total marketplace cap, that is, the total number of units in circulation times its US dollar value, exceeds all of them combined. It today rests at around $5 billion. While over the years, the focus has been solidifying the core layer of Bitcoin, recently, new applications are beginning to come online to make Bitcoin a little bit more accessible to the average user. But still, there is no killer app, at least not yet. I believe the first killer app will be remittance. Remittance is the transfer of money by a foreign worker to an individual in his or her own home country. Today, this is a $500 billion marketplace, and Bitcoin could emerge as a major player in it. In fact, it has actually already begun to do so. The second likely killer app will be on the other extreme. It will be micropayments. Micropayments are payments that range from $5 to as small as 1/10 of a cent. Today's world of MasterCard, Visa, and PayPal make micropayments unattractive due to their high transaction cost of anywhere between 70 cents and $2 for each transaction. Yet Bitcoin could do these at near zero cost, and they could do it today. This micropayment technology could revolutionize paid content on the internet that could dramatically increase both the quantity and the quality of information available. So what's the bottom line? Should your bank be involved directly with Bitcoin? In my opinion, no, not directly. The regulatory risk is just too significant at this time. For example, the New York regulator has recently released its BitLicense rules, and those should give any FI a reason to pause. Heck, New Hampshire went as far as to classify anyone, even individuals, that sell or trade Bitcoin in any amount to now be classified as money transmitters. Therefore, they must be licensed and bonded as such. However, I do see opportunities in this space, and I believe you should consider partnering with some of the leading Bitcoin companies. Two prime examples of such companies are Coinbase and Uphold. Both are incredibly well-run firms with a strong leaning towards security and a good grasp of the regulatory issues that exist and the regulatory issues that potentially could exist. An example of such a partnership is USAA's current pilot with Coinbase. It allows customers to view their Bitcoin balances through their existing USAA bank accounts. And then there's Uphold. Uphold is out of the UK, and it is building a unique and powerful money transfer capability. And although the firm is still small, it has a potent technology. It allows for the cross-border transfer of any asset class from dollars to gold to Bitcoins. In summary, look, I get it. I get how difficult it would be to make an investment in this space given the current circumstances. But just remember this. Quite often, at this point in the life cycle of any innovation is where the real takeoff begins. This concludes our 4-part series on Bitcoin and the blockchain. If you have further questions, or any suggestion in fact, please feel free to leave them in the comments section on our website, futurebanktoday.net. And stay tuned for next week's episode. We're calling it Security and the Black Swan Event. Thank you for your time today.